All right, folks, good evening. Welcome. It's another Friday, and the date is here. Journalist Hangout, the biggest platform for members of the Fourth Estate to, mold opinion and share them with you. Now, today on the program, President Buhari orders NNPC not to spare importers of substandard fuel. And later on the show, we'll tell you that APC Reconciliation Committee fails to submit report 15 days to convention. I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, BKO. I greet you, Jide.
Good evening, Citizen Jones.
Yeah. And Bola Olajuwon is here. Bola, I greet you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So you can see the team is ready. I hope you are. All right, straight to business. The season of anomy continues without let as devil-may-care robbers struck in the hot afternoon at Idiakwe, that's in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Now, the robbers, dressed in police uniform and driving an unmarked vehicle, shot sporadically when the bullion van, which just left a commercial bank, got to a traffic light. Now, 3 policemen and 4 civilians lost their lives in the attack. To think that the attempted robbery took place close to a police command headquarters is spine-chilling. The robbery attempt failed, but left so many questions unanswered. There is no robbery so terrible, Jide, as the one committed by those who think they are right in committing it. Some of them will plead joblessness and all that. But we have a package we want to share with you. The correspondent is Olaide Oyewole in Ibadan. Let's join him.
There was pandemonium around the Idiakwe area of Ibadan after some unknown gunmen attacked a moving bullion van and carted away some money. Eyewitnesses say the men, who were all masked and about 8 in number, attacked the policemen and started engaging in a gun duel with them. They said some policemen were killed while the money contained in the van was carted away.
They are marks. They are some with a black marks. And we saw these people coming from this direction. I don't know where they are going with this bullet farm. Immediately we just saw that there is fire and they are raising the fire. They are shooting each other. Well, they keep some policemen when they catered the money away.
Yeah, I was on the bike also. When I saw them, I have to park my own bike somewhere. Then a bike man that was going on his way, he wanted to overtake the bullion fans. So at the process, then they shot him.
But the police said nobody died in the incident.
Nobody was killed as of now. I can't really say anything now because I'm still trying to assess the situation to find out what actually happened. But I can tell you for sure that 2 of my men were shot on the leg. So let's just check what went on. Let's investigate. She confirmed that the gang took away one of its members who was shot and killed. One of the policemen in the backup vehicle escorting the bullion van shot dead one of the armed robbers. And funny enough, the armed robbers took away the corpse of the killed one. The police commissioner assured Nigerians that investigations are on and the perpetrators of the nefarious act would be brought to book. Olaide Oyewole, TVC News, Ibadan.
Pictures, we are told, tell stories. And the picture we just saw is not the best. Immediately after the war, we had things like this, So it appears nothing has changed in a supposed peacetime.
What has changed, in my view, is the Yes, the resolve of these robbers to operate in an urban center. Bank robberies these days usually take place in rural areas and semi-urban centers. You hardly hear of bank robbery in the heart of Lagos, for example. And when they tried it in Abuja, they couldn't get away. Look at the place where this robbery took place. It's always jam-packed with traffic. How are you going to be able to escape from the scene? What they like is to rob and then achieve a quick getaway. You can't succeed in doing that in a place bursting at the seams with traffic. It's just not going to happen. And that's why you see them going to
populated environment.
That area especially. You know, there are some parts of Ibadan that may not witness dense traffic as that area. You know, maybe they could get away easily, you know, on the outskirts of the city, you know. But we've seen them go to rural communities in Ekiti, rural communities in Edo State, rural communities in Ondo, and a lot of the banks have even shut their outlets in the rural areas, you know, because of rampant robbery in those places. But to attempt to snatch a bullion van in the heart of a bustling state capital.
Scorching sun.
Yeah, no, good. Why are you going to get out of that traffic? That's what we saw. They just couldn't get away. And even their route, their most likely route of escape, there is an area police division over there. So this robbery, they attempt to hijack the bullion van and take it away, clearly failed because the police responded, and of course, given the chaotic nature of traffic in that area.
Bola, but you see, when we have conflicting reports, people were killed, people were not killed, it does not help our job.
Yes, sure. You know, like as newsmen, we should be able to get facts. Not only facts, the facts that reflected the situation at hand. But we couldn't do that.
To believe our man.
Okay? Because like what really happened, from what I heard, they said those people, they attacked the bullion van after killing the policemen and making, you know, people around to scamper. And then they forced open the door and they made away with the money. That was what we had yesterday. But now, another dimension is saying that, look, nothing like that, that they could not, you know, cut away
the CP
the money.
Was very categorical.
And aside that, we learned that about 3 policemen were shot.
Yes.
We also heard that about 4 civilians were killed. But saying that nobody was killed, how do we now, you know, marry everything together? But what we now know is this. Okay, robbery and violent robbery can happen anywhere in Nigeria now. Anytime. Whether successful or not successful. Then the issue is this. Nigerians should be very careful. When you see policemen going with bullion van, be very careful. Don't go near them because they are going to be on edge and they will be merciless. They will be merciless with anybody that attempts to go near them because now they are on edge too.
Yeah, did it quickly makes me begin to dream up firing them, you know, capital punishment and all that.
Of course.
They say the debate is interminable. We'll keep debating it, right or wrong.
Well, our laws have not changed. If you take a life, then the law says you must be killed for taking a life. What has changed is, okay, this is a civilian regime. They no longer kill them by tying them to the stakes and killed by firing squad and all that. But I wish we even had that. Maybe there will be a lot of deterrence because these guys now, bandits and the rest, they are operating like no one can stop them. Look at the massive holes. That massive bullet holes.
Tells you the weapons they use.
Yes. And because they were also firing at close quarters. So it will drill a big hole. It's terrible. In the heart of town. I mean, it's really scary. I think in Ibadan, this had not happened in Ibadan for more than 10 years.
Yes.
This kind of attack on the bullion van and all that, or bank robbery. You know, so
the message is clear. It can happen anytime, anywhere.
Yes.
Be prepared. Like
yes, let's not rule out any possibility. We've seen them do it in rural areas, but they are now saying that they can do it in the urban center. So we have to be ready.
More like saying, we still do, no forget also.
That's a serious one.
Okay, let's go to our next story. You know, to the rich and privileged, air travel should be a luxury and a favorite pastime. It becomes nightmarish and unpleasant experience when you are kept at the airport for long hours and your flight is cancelled. The Joint Committees on Aviation of the National Assembly has concluded plans to summon airline operators and aviation agencies over flight delays experienced in the last few days. Senator Smart Adeyemi gave a hint when he was on an oversight visit to the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA. Aviation fuel has jumped to 400 naira per litre. Sometimes something seems to happen when the high and mighty are scandalized. This is curious. Must it be?
You just like blowing grammar. You know, who is not scandalized now? Are you not scandalized by the unrelenting rise in food prices, for example? Who is not scandalized? Everything is going up. The frustration is such that Nigerians are almost at the brink. So the truth is, when you look at the weather at this time, it's really, really bad. So sometimes those delays, those cancellations are necessary.
Okay.
We have to admit
strategic.
That the adverse weather, if the pilot cannot see beyond 800 meters, then the weather is very bad. So they are not likely to fly. But you know, we are naturally impatient. We want to get on the aircraft. But it makes no sense to fly in bad weather because it can bring down an aircraft. So, well, of course, there are other issues like aviation fuel scarcity and all that. There was a time when some airlines were leaving this country to go and source for aviation fuel in Ghana. It was that bad. Yes, especially the foreign airlines. You go all the way to Ghana to get aviation fuel.
And they burn fuel to get there.
Of course. But you have to stay in business. One thing that can knock you out of business is that if you do not have access to the aviation fuel, how do you fly the plane? So they go all the way to get aviation fuel. So there are other delays caused by air traffic controllers and all that. Sometimes if the president is aircraft is overboard, of course they are going to ensure that you do not land. So you can over in the air for up to 30 minutes until everything is sorted before you will be given the permission to land. So we know that these things happen, but technical issues like bad weather or even bird strike, which will force an airline to change. To go for a different aircraft to evacuate passengers. No, these things happen, but Nigerian Airlines, maybe because people don't teach them a lesson for just arbitrarily canceling flights or keeping people waiting for so many hours. Maybe that's why it's so rampant here. In other lands, they will sue you. You will now know that, look, it makes no sense to simply keep people waiting. I had been in the airport before for an 11 a.m. flight that took off past 10 p.m. Yes. So it is that bad. And we've seen it. I remember there was another flight that was delayed with a governor of one of the southwest states and one of the top ministers. They all had to wait in the airport for so many hours before they were eventually and they will not tell you. That's the painful thing.
Good.
They will not tell you. They will just keep you waiting. No communication of any sort.
Somebody, that's what should irk anybody. You know, you keep people waiting for long hours and no communication. Nobody's telling anybody anything.
It's in the character of some of the airlines. Okay, I remember very well.
I thought you were going to say in our character.
No, I won't say our character. Okay, let's be specific. Let's be specific and let's revert to the airline. Okay, one airline that has been taken over by Hapcom was known for it. And they won't do anything. They won't beg you. They will just cancel.
It's as if they are doing you a favor.
As if they are doing you a favor, you are not paying for it. I remember very well, I missed my flight to Accra one time like that. I paid for it. They penalized me.
No, you're not for pay.
No, they penalized me for it. Okay, they rescheduled the trip for the morning. 7 a.m. We could not leave. We could not leave Lagos until 3 p.m.
Nobody told you anything.
Nobody told us anything. And then the next thing that we complain, they start saying that, okay, there's nothing they can do, is one of those things. And we should, apart from the fact that Jide mentioned, technical issues and other issues, most of the airlines, they don't plan for those routes. That's,
That's curious.
Yes, they don't usually plan for it. Some of them will rather wait for, maybe flight coming from Maputo, from ECOWAS region.
Of course,
for local flights.
Air control must clear you before you take off.
I know. But what about not having the required number of aircraft for those flights? The required number of, and then managing the aircraft. One aircraft will go to Ghana, then they will wait for it to go to Port Harcourt, and then that same aircraft will go to Abuja. We've been saying that.
Okay, so Smart Adeyemi is Jide, one of your senators, and so now the National Assembly is wading into the matter. You are begging the question: would it change anything?
No.
It's routine.
It's just, I don't see how these guys can change. They've been doing this to us for years. What can make, even the Consumer Protection Agency had waded into this airline problem before, yet we didn't see any change. They waded into it. Yet we didn't see any change. So we just have to live with it. We just have to live with it. The airline business is in danger in our country. Yet more and more of us are taking to air travel because the roads are not safe. Not just because there are gullies on the roads, because kidnappers have made our highways their home. So more and more people, these days you find that even some routes that we didn't have airlines patronizing, they are now on those routes.
Necessity.
If you travel to Taraba now, the aircraft will be full.
Wow.
And it was not like that before. Nobody wants to travel on the road.
Sorry, we are joined by Olushola is in Ibadan. Good evening, Olushola. Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Citizen Joe. This is Olushola Julius from Ibadan, Oyo State Capital.
Welcome.
Babajide Otitoju. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
The other man. Sorry, sir, I've forgotten your name. Good evening, sir.
Is Bola Olajuwon?
But Mr. Bola Olajuwon, please, I'm sorry, sir. Good evening, sir. Now, Babajide, you get to be there yesterday and you see what really happened in Ibadan at Idiakwe Junction, going towards Gate. Honestly, it was horrible. It was horrible. But it amused me this evening when I was hearing the Commissioner of Police saying that nobody died. I am a live witness there yesterday because I went to one of the banks to withdraw some amount of money for my personal use when I was coming from my office. And honestly, to be frank, it was very tough. But what is all important now is that we should be caring about the situation of our country, because with what happened yesterday, I can see it live. AK-49 was being used at a close range, even to defend themselves. And it comes to a stage whereby the policemen cannot even help themselves again. And they went away with that money. I was a live witness. But what is so important is...
Olushola, thank you. Thank you. But you know, the CP must act on information.
Information.
That's information.
The reason some of us do not trust security agents is this sort of thing.
Yeah.
You come and tell us nobody died, or claim that, you repelled the attack, as we sometimes hear from the military, even in occasions when they lose their military base. So how do people believe this thing happened before the eyes of people? And you are saying nobody died. In another breath, you said if, somebody, a policeman, fired at a robber and they took the robber away. Where robbers can successfully take away the corpse of their colleague, that should tell you that operation, they were more or less in charge. Because if they were completely overwhelmed, they won't have the cheek to attempt to take away.
That's it.
Yes. So, and I've seen videos with somebody sprawling on the ground, apparently gone, and another one, you know, bleeding. So,
you know, Gidi, and you are wondering, in these days of freedom of information bill, aren't we entitled to this?
No, they should just tell people the truth. They should just tell people the truth.
Because it doesn't
stop lying to Nigerians.
It doesn't stop anything. Okay, then, we move on now. You know, we may not have heard the last word on the case of substandard premium motor spirit, PMS, popularly called petrol, imported into the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, who doubles as petroleum minister, has weighed in on the near fuel shortage of the last week by ordering the NNPC to go after importers of the substandard and some would say toxic petrol. Relevant government agencies are also mandated to take every step in line with the relevant laws of the country to ensure the respect and protection of consumers against abuses and social injustice. Note as well, the House of Reps has ordered a probe into the scandal. Opposition People's Democratic Party sees the whole episode as a process of buck passing in order to shield the culprits. Now, would the president's orders be carried out? We adopt a look-see attitude. But first, let's share the story from the House of Reps with you. Watch this, please.
Over the past few weeks, Nigerians, especially in Abuja and Lagos State, have been subjected to untold hardship due to scarcity of petrol. Long queues and attendant economic woes have been the lot of the people. Days ago, the Nigerian government confirmed the scarcity of the commodity, which it attributed to the adulterated fuel in circulation.
Thank you very much.
Lawmakers are livid that many who purchased the fake fuel have had their vehicles damaged, while commuters suffer long waits at bus stops and high cost of transportation.
We need to investigate the release and sale of adulterated premium motor spirit PMS.
The chief whip brings up the incident under matters of urgent national importance. He queries the roles played by all concerned in the distribution chain, just as other members decried the development.
Aware that poor quality was noticed about a week ago, when many car engines of motorists were reportedly damaged, and consumers allegedly started arresting and suing retail outlet owners for selling them products which damaged their vehicles.
The committee should also ascertain whether the importation, distribution, and dispensing of the toxic petroleum or petrol in Nigeria from January to date conforms to the international standard.
Considering the amount of subsidy that is always paid on this product, then someone somewhere will go far as bringing adulterated fuel into this country is unacceptable.
Part of the responsibility of the committee probing the circulation of the adulterated fuel is to ensure that everyone found culpable is made to face the full wrath of the law. Jockey Hedson, TVC News, Abuja.
Yep, Bola, everybody is wading in. Mr. President, who is the Minister of Petroleum Resources, has waded in the House of National Assembly. Does it solve anything?
It won't solve anything, because who is to resolve the issue? The president is ordering the NNPC to do that. With the situation on ground, and there's a controversy in respect of who is responsible now. Okay? The major importance...
You are not telling me that the...
Yes, the NNPC is also part of the controversy, because the NNPC is saying that, okay, that though one of the firm under the control of NNPC is also responding to Duke Oil, and then MRS and others are involved. You understand me? But basically, these people are saying that they don't know anything about it, that it's even the NNPC and its subsidiary that is involved.
But this is not the first time you are bringing fuel into the country.
No, it's not the first time. But the situation is this. I don't know why the NNPC should be telling Nigerians that, look, at the point of importing the fuel, that they don't do testing. And at the point of, trying to sell or, to pump the fuel into the local system, distribution system, that they don't check it. How can that happen? Those two areas are extremely critical. But the issue is this is the Jews. In a country whereby we have oil, we are producing oil, why is it that we should be importing just any fuel from around the world based on the fact that we have an agreement for direct sales and direct purchase? Why are we doing that to ourselves? For how long are we going to be doing that? Well, look, for some times Nigerians have been taking their stand that, look, we've not been seeing vehicles at filling station key.
Oh yeah.
For some time.
Oh, yeah.
But now this one is critical. Go and see many vehicles at filling stations. Totally destroyed. And then most of the vehicles, they are commercial vehicles, generating money for the owners every day.
Oh, come
if
on.
those vehicles should be there for a day, 2 days, you know what will happen.
Yeah. So, Julia, you get frightened when you feel it appears something may not happen. We hardly punish bad behavior in this country.
Yes. It's even a lot worse under this government. We have tried to encourage them. Look at the color. This one looks like red wine.
Yeah.
This can never be the right color of premium motor speed. This thing, let's go to the issue of quality control. NNPC cannot absolve itself of blame. You can outsource importation of this thing. Yet they tell us that yes, that they are the sole importers. But in the recent, from what we are seeing, they actually delegate that importation to some firms. This company now that has been mentioned, Litasco, is said to be the Swiss arm of Russia's Lukoil.
Look at that.
So that's the thing. Yes, see how bad it is. Now, methanol is added to gasoline, but it should not exceed between 2 to 3%.
Yeah.
What we have here, this petrol that they brought to us, is actually 20% methanol, whereas the safe percentage is between 2 to 3% of methanol. Shouldn't there be someone whose duty it is to test this thing?
We talk about
to be ensured that
pre-shipment inspection.
No, even if in our country, that's not shipment now. It's already, they brought it into our country. Whatever, even if they compromise pre-shipment over there, in our country, we should have structures in place, governance modules in place that will ensure that what is sold to our people, look at this. Just look at the color. It's annoying. There should be governance modules in place that will ensure that this does not get to the end user. No matter what the problem was at the place from where they shipped it. You get the point that I'm making?
Yeah.
They may have shipped bad product to our country, but we've got to have system structures in place that ensure that at the point of delivery, if this thing is found to be unwholesome, then we do not accept it. But that's not what has taken place. This thing has now been distributed to fuel marketers. And people have bought it. There's someone in our office who filled her tank with this unwholesome petrol. And I was saying something yesterday that what if it was unwholesome aviation fuel that got sold to us and an airline filled
its tank,
the aircraft tank with something like this? Won't it not bring down a plane and lead to national calamity? So if we still refuse to let heads roll over this matter, honestly, I have nothing to say again. Because this is a national scandal.
Bola, you have something to say?
Well, I don't have much to say other than the fact that this thing that we are witnessing now will still happen. Because I don't see the NNPC doing justice to what is happening now. Because how can you...
No, it's part of the problem. How can somebody who's part of the problem be a judge in his own matter?
You know,
it's like being a judge in his own matter.
Then the issue is, another issue is this. Then will that stop after the probe? Will that stop the situation from happening again? Will they punish the offenders? We've seen many reports
punishing bad behavior in this country.
And
a
then,
big problem.
Jones, we've seen many reports sitting there on the shelves and nothing
gathering dust.
Gathering dust, and nothing will happen at the end of the day. And then the business will continue as usual.
This is straight from a depot.
Yes.
This is how it came. Not those ones who say in social media that people could say no, all this user-generated content cannot be trusted.
And the man who brought it in would have made his money.
This one, our own people can confirm that this was from a depot. So that you can see, so there's nothing. It's the truth. So why are we doing this to ourselves? At the point of delivery in our country, somebody, this one that they are now telling us that, oh, it was actually 20% methanol that was in it instead of 2 to 3%. Why are they just telling us that after it has been distributed to fuel marketers?
They are telling the man on the street who doesn't understand the dynamics.
No, the ordinary man does not understand. But we are saying that it shouldn't have been after you have distributed it that you will now say, oh, it's actually 20% level of methanol instead of 2 to 3% that is there. It's above the acceptable level.
We are joined down from Ikorodu by Prince. Prince, I greet you. Welcome.
Good evening, please.
Yeah.
Uncle Jide and Bola.
Good evening, man.
Yeah, you see, honestly speaking, concerning this issue of adulterated petrol, nothing, I'm still saying nothing will come out of it. This is just to
such a shame.
What we are in this country. Nothing, there will be no consequent management on this issue. It has been the usual thing. They believe that when they do it, they go scot-free. They call themselves the powder B. And if there's no political will to track out and deal decisively with these people, we will remain like that. Jide was saying one thing about aircraft. You can imagine if these people this petrol has gone into the aircraft and the aircraft takes off. What do you think will happen? Do you know how many people will go at the same time? We are lucky that we are talking about cars being damaged. Now, if peradventure there's no life lost, glory be to God. But you see, I don't know why it is the effect of our refusal to produce petrol. If our refineries are not working, we expect jumps to come in.
Thank you, Prince. Prince, we are as mad as you are. You know.
And he made a very valid point that if our refineries are not working, then people will send in junk to us.
Oh yes,
that's the truth. Because you are sourcing petrol from all over the world, you know, refined crude oil from all over the world. You don't know, you can't test you can attest to the quality of some of these.
Yeah.
Remember, even during the Abacha era, we had petrol that was smelling,
yeah.
you know, repulsive
like
smell.
That. Yeah.
Although it wasn't damaging vehicles, you know, at least we had no evidence of that. But
the smell
was offensive.
Yeah.
So if our own refineries, our petrol, Bonnet Light, is one of the best variants in the world. But here we are, because we failed to look after our refineries the right way, because we would rather embrace corruption than do what is right. We are now buffeted by all kinds of unwholesome petroleum products coming into our country. I mean, it's just...
And then you hear crazy things like, now God go help us. But like,
which God will help us if we can't help ourselves? No. God will not come down to help us in this situation.
Okay. You won't vex past me.
No. The issue, Citizen
now you the provoke him now.
No, Citizen Jones, we should not be mentioning God about this thing. This is man's inhumanity to man.
Yes.
Yeah. Mine is simply this, and this is not any attempt at blowing grammar. Impunity in the country is promoted by the untouchables. For as long as we leave the untouchables, the impunity will continue.
Of course.
That one no need.
Of course.
You know,
they always get, especially the rich and the elite. They believe that our laws are not meant for them. You know, and if we take them to court, somehow they will wriggle out of custody. They never pay for their sins in our country.
But again, Jide, I'm enamored of what Mr. President had told the NNPC. I don't know what you think. I expect something to happen here. At least let's teach a lesson for once.
Don't be too optimistic.
Citizen Jones,
don't be too optimistic.
The people at the helms of affairs.
People have to help me.
See, the people at the helms of affairs in NNPC should first of all resign.
Yeah.
Yes,
and you and I know that they will not resign.
They won't resign.
You know, if it was an independent body that was mandated by Mr. President to investigate them, but you are pushing this to NNPC and telling NNPC that he should not spare. NNPC that is culpable, that he didn't do his due diligence. If they had done their due diligence, will this kind of product be distributed to fuel marketers? Because people have received this product. Look at how much we are going to lose now. You are withdrawing this. Who pays
for that?
Yeah, of course, it's our country. It's taxpayers' money that's going into that.
Okay. Mr. President has spoken. He's the Minister of Petroleum Resources. He's #1 citizen. And his word is like gospel. So we leave the NNPC. We are watching and waiting. All right. You know, a reconciliation does not mean forgive and forget, as if nothing went wrong. It simply means forgive and move forward. The National Reconciliation Committee of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, led by former Nasarawa State Governor, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, appears to be up against a sea of trouble with 15 days to the much-touted National Convention of the APC. Intra-party feuds in many state chapters and petitions flying left and right are hampering any tangible efforts at resolving the crises in the country, in the party. An interim report submitted by committee members made up of former governors and prominent individuals was handed in on January 31st. In everyday life, the best resolution is repentance. But in politics, the crisis to worry about is the one you don't see coming, Bola.
Yes.
In politics.
In politics.
You keep hoping that nothing will happen.
Yeah, but the issue is these politicians don't think the way we think. Okay. Even somebody that you know very well.
Let's think for them.
Let's think for them. Yeah. Most politicians, they know they don't have chances, but they will tell you that they have chances. Okay. A politician that cannot even win the world will say that.
You are raising your voice. It be like saying you want best.
No, I'm not raising. Because the issue is this. Look, in the first instance, we should not even be discussing this type of issue in a reasonable country. We are discussing this type of issue because, look, the governance structure is not even there. We don't have ethics in politics. There's no ethics in politics. Anything just go. In politics, those people that should not even be calling the shots in politics, they are calling the shot because they believe that, look, they want to be part of the modus operandi. We shouldn't be. Okay, look at it. This is a ruling party for now. about 47 petitions, more than 47 petitions, are before the National Reconciliation Committee. And the committee asked for 1 week after the initial 2 weeks that they gave to the committee to resolve the issue. The committee asked for 1 week again. Up till now, nothing. And I can tell you specifically that as at today, in about 2 states, they are manifest, they are apparent. There is no way they can resolve the issue as that now. Like Kano is one of the states. Between Ganduje, Governor Ganduje led executive, and Shakarau led executive. Okay, then what of the Kwara? Kwara is there. Between the governor and Lai Mohammed committee. You understand? And basically, some people will tell you that the case of Lagos is is a situation whereby some people who are nobody to write home about, they want to force themselves into the mainstream party in order to have a say in the party, so that they can rule as well. But in as much as that, the issue at hand is that, I'm sorry to say it, if care is not taken, and I'm saying it publicly, I don't have
Don't worry, nobody will go to court. Go on.
See, the issue is this. Mr. President should come out. His body language should reflect what is right in APC.
Yeah.
He should not just sit down there and be looking. This party, if care is not taken, may not last after him. I'm saying it.
All right. Bola, you are thinking for politicians. Good. That's a great one. Jide, how do you react?
Even if the Reconciliation Committee has the whole year, there are some crises within the party now that they can't resolve. I don't see how. There are some crises, some squabbles that have been on since 2015, unresolved. I've spoken about some of these things before. You see, I'm happy with Adama, for example. Adama, they've been able to put their differences aside. I think beyond the unresolved issues of Congress in Mobi South and Mobi North and Yola South, they have a central leadership in Adamawa State now. Unlike what prevailed before the 2019 election, which caused the party to lose the state.
The state, yeah.
So they are united behind a central leadership, which is good news. In Bauchi, the same thing. You could argue that, well, maybe because they don't have a sitting governor in those two states. Because where you have a governor, and the governor simply wants to impose his will on other party members, is usually the source of this crisis that we are talking about. You know, where the governor would think that, oh, other people do not matter. And where, for example, you have a former governor, and the governor still wants to lord it over everyone and ensure that only what he wants prevails. That's why you have the crisis in Gombe, for example, between Danjuma Goje and the current governor who used to be his commissioner. So, and in Kwara, of course, just as he said, the quarrel in Kwara has not been resolved because the Reconciliation Committee, as we have now been told, did not bring the contending groups together, because the Lai Mohammed group said, oh, that there was no meeting, no roundtable meeting, which the people came to resolve the dispute. So whom are you reconciling? Of course, that of Sokoto, you and I know, Sokoto and Kano, it even went to court. Some issues, if they are not withdrawn, some of these quarrels that have gone to court, if we do not even withdraw those cases from court, you are far away from any form of resolution. And then we've seen in Kano, what the leadership of the party has simply done is to say, okay, you people go and sit amongst yourselves and choose leaders at what level, at state level, at all levels. But it's not easy to simply call people who have been quarreling, who are not on talking terms, to tell them to go and sit together. You've got to decide for these people. And where you bring together leaders of thought, people with wisdom, their decisions should be binding on any self-respecting party member, because you cannot be bigger than your party.
You know, and you get the impression that politicians hardly think tomorrow today. Bola, they say, lizard say, because all of them, they crawl for ground. Do you know the one with belly the pain?
Yes.
You have so many belly aching in many parties. In my state, Akwa Ibom, the APC cannot be said to be having a good night's sleep.
Yes. Also, in places like River, in places like Samfara.
Delta.
Yeah, in Delta, do we have peace there? No. You see, the issue is this. Okay, look at the case of Kano, for instance. How can you take Ganduje, that is a party to a crisis, to be the chairman of the state's committee that will settle the issue?
Yeah.
It's never done. And you now say Shekarau,
an aggrieved man.
A man, you now say Shekarau that they are not on talking terms, you assist him. How
no,
do you do that?
You see, the APC constitution, APC tradition is that the leader of the party in the state is the governor.
We know.
That did not start today. Where you don't have a sitting governor, if you have a former governor, just as we have in Benue, then that former governor becomes the leader. It's established. But in Kano, the governor has to be the leader of the party, no doubt about it. Okay. But right now, I agree that right now that they have issues, somebody has to broker peace. It's not going to be easy to say, okay, you people come together. And when the party met them, the party said, okay, submit your memoranda on how we can resolve this thing. They were submitted, but the party did not implement those things. And of course, it will be difficult to implement because the Shekarau group is saying, look, give us 60-40 or 50-50. They are not ready to yield greater ground to the governor's group. Why? Because they won in court 3 times. And they feel that gives them a position of strength. That we have been recognized by the court. Therefore, it should be we negotiating from a position of strength. You get the point that I'm making. So they are the ones saying, okay, we want to take 60, let the governor's group take 40. You and I know that will not work. Ganduje will not agree to be leader of the party and then is leading 40% of the structures. So, but they are saying, okay, they can agree to 50-50. Maybe that could be the starting point. If you can't get 60-40, at least let's start with something that will achieve some level of even-handedness. Even that one, I'm not certain that a sitting governor will agree to 50-50 sharing formula because... So this is the thing. These issues are very complex and difficult.
Bola, and so when we talk about political parties and internal democracy, you're wondering who is saying what?
Who is saying what? In the sense that we don't know who wants the situation to be settled. And then we don't know who is not ready to abide by party politics. But with the situation at hand, we have about 14 days to the National Convention. And there's no peace.
The ground still there.
Yes. Rivalry, problem, controversy, we still have them.
That's why some people are even scared of going to the conventions.
And then at the place of convention, I see trouble. I see a lot of trouble.
You see some of the governors don't even want convention to take place because they think that once they get there, that will be the end of the party. I think these quarrels are needless, if not because some people are so greedy for power. Look at your state. Udo Edehe now sees himself as the Lord of the Manor.
Yes, as the secretary.
Yes.
As the secretary.
So he has effectively shut out, he has used his position as secretary to shut out the Akpabios of this world. And it's the same thing that they've done in Delta. People like Keyamo, they've lost out. They may not talk now. These people may not talk now, but APC members have a history of working against their party.
Yes.
They did it even in Edo. Some of them worked against their party.
Yeah.
They did it in River.
Yes, they work against their party.
And Safara too.
No, even Gabriel Marafa came out on TV
to say it.
To even justify what happened, going to court. Oh. And it's that court that caused them to lose the state. Yes. He has no regret. Now, look at Gabriel Marafa is not happy. Yari is not happy. In that Zamfara. Those two, they are among the, I can say they are among the 5 most dominant politicians in that state. If you add their godfather, Ahmed Sani Yerima, you know, they are among the 5 most dominant in that state. So if you have 2 of them against the governor, it is bad enough. You must find a way to truly reconcile them. If you do not achieve that, honestly, it's going to be tough.
And that made me.
Okay, we have a caller online, and so let's team up with Alwan. Did I get it? Did I get the name right? He's reaching us. Good evening. Welcome. Are you there? Still trying to connect them. You know, so 15 days to go to an all-important national convention, and so the APC can at least, they have 14 days, 15 days to wrought magic. I hear anything is possible in politics. They say, oh, don't be bothered about how politicians speak. Say for at night, then they call themselves. There's still room.
There's still room.
Something can still be done.
Yeah, something
essentially,
can still be done.
If they want to remain in power, they have a choice. They have a choice.
But PDP wanted to remain in power, but they couldn't fix the problem within, and it led to them losing many states from a position of victory.
The backroom boys, led by the producer-director, say we must begin go.
Yeah, we go.
We allow APC solve their problem.
Go.
But again,
if they want us to go, we will go.
Make we go. But APC's problem will rub off on all of us because it's the ruling party. Bola Olajuwon, thank you for your time. And Jide, I thank you too.
Thank you.
On behalf of the backroom boys, I say thank you for everything. But don't forget to join us on Sunday for an expanded edition, 1:30 to 3:30. And we are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now.